Have you ever heard the phrase proven innocent until proven guilty? It's such a ridiculous statement that I couldn't even hardly say it. Innocent until proven guilty. That is what our legal system, everything that's been created when it comes to trials and everything else, you are innocent until proven guilty. That is what we believe in America. You are innocent until proven guilty. What a load of crap when it comes to your image. Unless you personally see it, if it's out of control, God forbid you witness a murder. If that video surfaces, yes, we all know they're guilty. But the technicality is they are not. They are innocent until it is proven in a court of law that they are guilty. When the powerful media of the world, mainstream media, sports writers, podcasters, they will come out with their own verdict because they are the legal masterminds. These types of situations can ruin lives if people are set up or if they are lied about. Of course, I'm talking about Terrence Shannon Jr. Months ago, come out from Kansas that a lady came out and said that he sexually abused her, raped her, and that's all we'll say about that. It's an uncomfortable conversation. When that came out, everybody, everywhere, automatically said he is a horrible person. How could he do this? And automatically, right then and there, in the media world, he was guilty. They did not have any facts besides word of mouth. Now, this is an uncomfortable conversation because accusations like this are very serious. Obviously, nobody supports rape. Nobody supports anything like that. If you are a normal human being, we do not condone any of this. This is very serious. So yes, when this comes out, it is a very serious thing. But instead of immediately, right then and there with our gut reaction is that this person is guilty, it's okay to be patient and wait. It's okay to write about it. It's okay to hop on your platform or your podcast, your show, whatever it is, and talk about it. But make sure you are smart enough to write or talk about if this is true. If you come on and immediately say, he deserves to go to jail, this person deserves this person deserves this because how could they do this? You're already making them guilty. It's okay to hop on and write or talk and say, this is a very serious matter and it should be handled the right way. But if it is true that he did this or they did this, whoever it may be, this is what's going to happen. But then you need to talk or write about, well, if they did not do this, then we have to make sure that you are saying those things because you do not know. You have no clue. So when this came out with Terrence Shannon Jr., I know me and other Illinois fans and other people I know that have their own personal podcast or show waited. And they waited to see what the writing and stuff would be about. Well, all the writings came out and said he's guilty. How could he do this? But then we started to see where there's video evidence. This happened in a bar. This here. You had Illinois players come out and say, we never saw this. And all of this stuff started to come out. Well, then Illinois suspended him. So then everybody said, well, if Illinois is suspending him, he must be guilty because they are going to know that he's guilty. Some are saying they suspended because they didn't want any legal action. That part could be true. That part is so above my pay grade that I have no clue if that's the real reason. And the only people that probably know are people in the legal system or our athletic director at Illinois, Mr. Whitman. Like, that's the only people that are going to know. So then more time had passed, not very long. I think it was just a matter of like 10 days or something like that. Terrence Shannon Jr. was granted the right to come back and play, the restraining order that he filed. So then he could come back to Illinois. So do you think that that would have gotten passed if that judge or the legal system were questioning the things said about him or this case brought about him? Well, then it was written about that, well, just because he can come back on the team, people are saying he shouldn't play, he shouldn't play, he shouldn't do this because they already determined that he was guilty. Any sane person that was reading the stuff, and it was so far long ago, and we all knew that he was innocent, that I know for some, couldn't personally remember everything that was written. So he came back, and immediately Brad Underwood started playing him. People started to write about how Brad Underwood like supported this, oh, it's okay for him to do this. Do you not think that a Power 5 school, a place at Illinois that does help produce lawyers and has legal people working for them, wouldn't have come out and said, hey, we are pretty sure this did not happen. They're keeping Brad Underwood updated. They're keeping Josh Whitman updated. They're keeping their legal teams and stuff updated. Do you not think that that is a possibility? Well, these experts that write their own stuff and work for these big time, like CBS and everything else, obviously they know more than we all do because that's who they work for, right? That means they're smarter than us, which is a load of crap. That does not mean they're smarter. That just means they grinded and worked hard and got to where they were, but they're also playing the game. Some of these people get told what to write, and then their livelihood is on views and clicks because that's what this world is, this media world, this podcast world, the writing world. You want people to look. So have you noticed over time, the headlines will say something, but then the article is completely different than what the headline is, right? They want people to see it. So if they want to jump on the side that he was automatically guilty, they're going to get more people to look at it, right? So that's what happened. So people kept saying he's guilty. This is going to be laying over his head and everything else. Yesterday it was determined by the judge that all charges are dismissed. He is found innocent and everything is done. He is innocent. And the problem is all these people that wrote about him, tweeted about him, said something about him have been silent. They have not said a word. Everybody's talking about how they owe him an apology. I agree, but you could also write or go on your show and just say you were wrong. You don't have to say the words, I'm sorry, Terrence Shannon Jr., if you don't want to. You need to go on and say, well, I was wrong. He was found innocent. Everything else. There was no evidence that matched this person's story. Illini players come out and say, we were with him. The story that was said was not true. There is video evidence to go against what this person says. So people are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and that's a load of crap when it comes to everybody watching. Our legal system might say that sometimes, even though our legal systems can be corrupt and used the wrong way, used as weapons and everything else and all that stuff. But outside of that, people will automatically put people as guilty because that's the easy way out. The easy way out is just to come out and say they're guilty. The easy way, that's the easy thing to do. That means these writers and these guys are lazy. They are completely lazy when it comes to this stuff. So I forgot some of the things that were written about him. I forgot some of the tweets that came out about him because it had been so long ago. So long ago. And I already knew he was innocent. Like, all I know people were saying, "Oh, just the fans are saying he's innocent." Any simple, regular-minded person could see that this was going to lean towards him being innocent. So it wasn't necessarily shocking that he was found innocent. It was just a relief for him that it was legal now. So, like Dan, the guy on Outcast, I think that he has great takes on a lot of things outside of sports, even that I agree with. Sometimes he takes things a little too far, but that's what people do. So he had this tweet way back when Terrence Shannon Jr. was playing again, and says something like this. Says, watching Michigan State University and Illinois. No way as an Illini fan could I root for that Shannon kid. Bring Twitter's special brand of stupid after me, but absolutely no way. He already determined that Terrence Shannon Jr. was guilty. Already. I don't think I've seen him tweet anything about Terrence Shannon since he was found innocent. That's just one example. So I tweeted, that didn't age well. And other people way back on, this is February 10th, so you'll find old comments. But that's just an example of somebody that has a big platform that should go on and say he was wrong. You get more respect if you say you were wrong on something. You get way more respect in this world if you say you were wrong. It's okay to be wrong. I'm wrong on a lot of takes I have on my smaller platform than he does. But I will come on and say I was wrong. He don't have to say, I'm sorry, Terrence Shannon Jr. But to say, bring Twitter's special brand of stupid, that he's talking to Illini fans and everything else. We all knew he was innocent. We all knew. Then you have this guy, and I hope he blocks me. This Gary Parrish guy wrote an article about Illinois and Terrence Shannon and Brad Underwood. And he wrote an article dating to that. So I tweeted at him yesterday saying, I'm just waiting for you to, come out and say you were wrong. Hey, why have you not talked about this situation? Because you had a lot to say in the article you wrote about it. I just don't get why people cannot go on and say that you were wrong. But then you think about it, why are you writing about that stuff anyway? Like, that's the part that I don't get is why are you writing about it anyway? Way back then, did you know he was guilty? Did you know something that we didn't all know? Because if you did, I think it would be appropriate to let people know that you knew something, right? So, like, I tweeted this at him saying, we're waiting, and I'm just going to show it to anybody that's watching it. Tweeted at him this saying, hey, Gary Parrish, we are all waiting. We're waiting for you to talk about this. We're waiting for your apology. We have a couple comments from somebody here, so bear with me. I'll get to you. Here we go. I'm going to get to this part in a second. She should face charges for false reports and perjury. I'm going to get to that in a second. His jersey should go up in the rafters next season, and Gary Parrish currently banned from the State Farm Center. Absolutely. That guy is a freaking joke. That guy should never write again. He should never even step foot in the state of Illinois. He should be gone. I do think Terrence Shannon Jr.'s jersey should be put up because he did a lot for Illinois. The new exclusive Illini club blocked by dumbass Parish Club. Yep, absolutely. They were blocked. Let's see if I can find that. I'm going back through Twitter here to see. So bear with me. I know this is good radio. I'm going to get to some of those comments that's in my game plan here to talk about that. But the article he wrote, like Brad Underwood, how dare he play him? And I'm paraphrasing, going after him. I just want to it's sickening that people will put him as guilty. Now, I understand, let me repeat this. That type of accusation is very serious. And I don't think that anybody would disagree with that. It's a very serious matter. But man, um a lot of people though were wrong. A lot of people. And Gary Parrish, I'm going to call you out again. You need to come up and apologize. He might be the one that needs to apologize. Like I know that um some people could just say that they were wrong. Some people could just say this. Oh, found it. Here we go. I loved this tweet. Fan page, Chief Illini Wood. It seems Gary Parrish is scared to own up to his mistakes and apologize like a man. At CBS Sports, you guys sure do hire the best. Simply asking if apology or further coverage will be provided on Terrence Shannon. This guy blocked him because he's a coward. Gary Parrish is a coward. He is a coward that should never step foot, never write about Illinois athletics ever again. What a coward he is to block people when he was wrong. I hope I'm the next one. I think I might just go on a Twitter rampage here and go after him. And I hope I'm the next one. There's some people that I want to be blocked by, and he's going to be one of the new ones. He's going to be one of the new ones that I want to block me. I want Stephen A to block me. I want Shannon Sharp to block me. I want this guy to block me. I want LeBron James to block me. I want it all. Bring all the heat, because how ridiculous to write such a dumb article. And I apologize to anybody that watches this. I had the article saved and it disappeared. So I apologize. It disappeared and I can't find it. But the article was, ridiculous. And it's just, how do these people have jobs in sports? I will never find out. Never, ever, ever find out how they have jobs in sports, how they're able to say these things. And even for them, like, do we think that should like a Gary Parrish be not, I don't know about punished, but like, does he deserve all the stuff going after him? I think so. I do think so. But I don't know. We can't change any of the sports writers because they will never go back and apologize. They'll never go back say these things. But the next people that I want to say about is, remember Terrence Shannon's stats for the year, like averaging over like 23 some points a game, getting all the rebounds, getting all the assists, leading Illinois to an Elite Eight, and he wasn't an All-American. They did not vote for him as an All-American because of these allegations. So those people even were saying that he was guilty. Like, they were already saying it. So I demand an All-American recount of this because he deserves to be an All-American. I think he deserves to have his jersey hung up in Illinois' rafters for what he has done for Illinois. Phillips comment, LeBron did post a tweet support of Terrence Shannon Jr. That's awesome. I'm not a LeBron fan at all, but there are some little things that he'll do right. And this is one of those things that's right. So good for LeBron James in support of Terrence Shannon Jr. I wish I could find that article. I apologize because I was going to read it. It's not coming up anywhere. Here we go. So here we go. Bad radio, but here we go. Here was the headline written by Gary Parrish on January 22nd, 2024. College basketball rankings. Decision to have Terrence Shannon playing for Illinois lies with Brad Underwood. A court ruled Shannon, who has been charged with rape, is no longer suspended, but it's Underwood's call to have him playing games. So, like I said, it's up to Brad Underwood in order if he was going to play. Terrence Shannon Jr. returned to Illinois' rotation Sunday less than a month after being charged with rape. His legal issues remain unresolved. Regardless, 6'6" wing received a rousing ovation upon entering the game, played 28 minutes and scored 16 points and helped get an 86-63 win. And did you see Shannon lead Illinois out of the tunnel? That suggests that Illinois is going to be brazen about being the nation's only power conference program to let a man facing a rape charge represent in such a public way. Our team feels whole again, says Justin Harmon, who finished with 18 points and 18 rebounds for Illinois, which is number 21 on Monday morning's updated top 25. We have our best player back. Then he says, undeniably, that's true. But should they? That's a question that will continue to be asked. Some Illinois fans will tell you that Illinois simply had no choice but to play Shannon's 28 minutes Sunday after a federal judge granted an injunction in his favor on Friday. So if a judge already kind of granted this, don't you think the judge kind of knew this was ridiculous? Did the injunction put Illinois in a position where it had to reinstate Shannon to the program or risk facing legal consequences? Yes, he says, which, again, how does he know? And could Shannon theoretically sue the school if he were reinstated but still not allowed to play? Sure, I guess, if only because anybody can sue anybody for anything in America. So right there, keep that thought in your head because I will be coming back to that. But no federal judge is in charge of a coach's rotation. College coaches have historically refused to play players for any number of reasons, for anything from committing crimes to taking bad shots or not diving for loose balls, missing curfew. It's totally up to the coach, or more broadly speaking, to the school, which players play and which players do not. So the idea that Illinois had no choice but to play Shannon 28 minutes on Sunday is nonsense. Terrence Shannon only played 28 minutes while facing rape charge on Sunday because Brad Underwood has allowed him to do that. Underwood can rationalize that however he likes, but this is what happened. So now for the second straight year, one of college basketball's best teams will move forward with a cloud of controversy hanging above it. Last season, it was Brandon Miller at Alabama. This season, it's Terrence Shannon in Illinois. So he's writing about how ridiculous it is that Brad Underwood is playing him. He already put in there that he is guilty. What an idiot you are, Gary Parrish. Like, this makes me more infuriated. I read this last night and got really frustrated. This is making me more frustrated because who are you? Like, who are you? Were you the nerd in school that didn't play sports and now you're going to write stuff like this? Like, who are you that you can come out and say these things and nothing happens? And you talked about it before. Like, you should come on and say you were wrong writing about this, and you're damn right. A coach is allowed to play players however they want. But again, are you an idiot to think that they are not doing their own homework? Do you not understand how recruiting works and how the legal system and all this stuff for a school they can go out and talk about and get information that you don't have? Like, it infuriates me. This infuriates me. And then it infuriates me that he didn't make an All-American team because he was one of the best players in the whole country, even from coming back. And then the scrutiny he had to face from fans yelling things like no means no and stuff like that. Now, again, I cannot stress enough, it is a very serious accusation. And I know it should not be taken lightly. But don't you think that the fact that a judge looked at everything and allowed him to be able to come back to Illinois, you don't think Josh Whitman did his homework and looked at this stuff and said, okay, it's kind of looking like he would be found innocent? Like, you don't think that kind of stuff was happening behind the scenes? I know sometimes people, it's a swing and a miss. People get in trouble, and maybe the school didn't do its due diligence. But the fact that you're going to say that Josh Whitman's not doing that, like, you're not paying attention. So these people that do a broad thing and talk about every sports team and everything else, leave it to the people that really focus on Illinois and try to find everything about it. So if you, like Illini fans, we pay attention to everything that comes about Illinois. So you don't think that they would know. So it's things like that. He should be an All-American. He should have his jersey hung up in the rafters. So let's put this comment back up again. Because I do want to say this. She should face charges for false reports and perjury. So this is kind of where I saw a tweet from the great Josh Pate. He has a great college sports podcast for CBS, but he does do a good job and tweeting out things and saying the right things. I do enjoy his show and listening to it. So let's look at this. He does say this, and I agree 100% on this take. He tweeted, Terrence Shannon Jr. was falsely accused of sexual assault and had his career/life nearly derailed simply because we've created a no-risk society for that sort of allegation to be weaponized. Equal punishment for proven false allegations should be mandatory in any civil society. And you see the video where Terrence Shannon was found innocent and he's hugging and he's super excited. This tweet is so spot on because, again, I'm going to say it for like the 10th time. It's a very serious allegation and it should be handled the right way. But when somebody does this and all the evidence is proven that this person is innocent and did not do these things, what happens to the person that said they did it? Nothing happens to them. Nothing. That type of accusation can ruin somebody's life, a normal person's life. So imagine somebody that is a college basketball star and might be taken in the first round of the NBA draft because he made the right decision to come back to Illinois and prove how much better he got and show different intangibles that he has. So going big time, that could have ruined everything that he worked hard for. But what happens to that person? Nothing. So when proven, he put that in capital letters, and I can't agree more. When false accusations, a punishment should happen. I don't know if it's jail time. I don't know if it's paying all the legal fees for the innocent person. Like I said, I don't know if it's jail time, but something has to be done like this. And then something like this makes it harder to listen to the ones that actually did it, because this does happen in our world and it's sickening. It's sickening to see men rape women and stuff. It's horrible. Those people that actually do it deserve the worst treatment that we are illegally allowed to do. They deserve to be hit with a bat, in my opinion. And I know that's violence, but like you get so angry when you hear about guys that actually do this. It's sick. And they deserve punishment. But this probably happens more often than we know, where there is false accusations to men. So it will make it harder for the people that, I hope it never happens again to any woman or any man, but it will make it harder to believe people that it actually happens to. So the old saying is one rotten apple ruins the bunch, or one person ruins it for all. People like this it ruins that type of stuff. And so I do think something should happen to her, which probably nothing will because you never really hear about that. But I do think it has to be revisited and something should happen. You owe him money. And now the question will be, is Terrence Shannon Jr. going to sue that person? Is he going to go after all the other people that said he was guilty? Like, is that the next steps? Maybe not. Seems like a very good person. It seems to make the right decisions. Seems like he has a good support system around him and good people around him telling him things that he needs to hear and making those decisions. But that's going to be the next part is he going to turn around and go after those people? Like, is that the consequence? Like, hey, you threw my name through the mud and everything else, and this happened and X, Y, and Z happened. So now I'm going after you. And if he decides to do that, he has my full support because they try to ruin his name. And, like I said, reports written about him, this, and that. Should he go after those people? Maybe. Or does he not even want to do that? Does he just want to come out with a statement and say, hey, you have your right to your own opinion? But I hope next time God forbid something like this happens, that you actually think about what you're saying or writing and make the right decision when whatever you decide to talk about or say. I hope that happens. But good for Terrence Shannon Jr. legally being found innocent. And, he hopefully will have a long NBA career when that happens. I hope that he would go, top first round and have a great NBA career. To try to wrap up the show, let's end on a more positive note, I guess. We're going to make a little switch here to Illinois football. I haven't talked about Illinois football in a while, so it's good to come back and talk. They got a big time wide receiver transfer in Zachary. I hope I said it right. Zachary Franklin. He played at UTSA wide receiver under Illini Jr. in his offense. Last year he played at Ole Miss. He had transferred to Ole Miss. Did not have a good career at Ole Miss. He had injuries. He got redshirted and everything else. So decided to enter the transfer portal and is going to reunite with Barry Lunny Jr. And during his time with Barry Lunny Jr.'s offense and his play calling, was one of the top wide receivers during that time. Franklin is the NCAA's active career receiving yards leader at 3,336. During 50 career games, he has 266 receptions and 38 touchdowns. He was the number 136 transfer wide receiver this offseason because of the fact that playing Ole Miss, he only had 3 catches. He was one of the most hyped transfers, but then he got, like I said, hurt and everything else. He only had, 4 receptions for 38 yards. During his time at UTSA, during 2021, 2022, he caught 175 passes for 2,163 yards and 27 touchdowns. And during those 2 years, Barry Lunny Jr. was the offensive coordinator. So what does this mean for Illinois? Well, it means that they're adding another great transfer. They got 4-star Texas cornerback Terrence Brooks. He's a great corner, so that's going to help out the speed and the tackling and a leadership for Illinois' defense. But what this means for the offensive side, they're getting a fast, talented wide receiver, and he's going to have a veteran presence because he's been playing forever. If you want to go over everything, he's been playing since 2019. In 2019, he had 38 catches, 491 yards, 3 touchdowns. The next year, 49 catches, 694 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Then the next 2 years had his breakout years, 81 catches for 1,027 yards and 12 touchdowns, then 93 catches for 1,137 yards and 15 touchdowns. And so again, this past year, 4 catches, 38 yards, 1 touchdown. His longest career catch was 75 yards. No fumbles, anything like that. And so a guy that's going to have a veteran presence in the locker room. And what does this mean? I said one of the things that slow down Illinois' offense from time to time is sometimes inconsistent play from the quarterback, but it also came down to who's going to be the big guy that's a playmaker. And for the last couple years, we would look towards Isaiah Williams. And like I said, no offense to him, he's a super fast guy and able to get open and everything else. But who is like the tall receiver that can go up and get the ball, right? And so the only guy really coming back that could have like that proven option was Pat Bryant. He has 83 catches for 1,111 yards and 9 touchdowns during 3 seasons with Illinois. They were kind of looking towards Malik Ensley and Ashton Hollins. They've shown a lot of flashes during the spring. I got to see them live, and they're super fast and making those glimpses and from the spring game. But the more and more that gets asked of them, then the higher the level becomes. And so that's where the question marks were going to come. And so when you have a guy now, like now you have Pat Bryant and you have Franklin there, And so you're going to have these two outside weapons, and you can even put them in slots, but you're going to have these two outside weapons now for the defense to hopefully be more balanced and say, okay, we have to, do we just choose to pick to stop one of them, or do we just try to be balanced, right? But also you have a guy coming in that could just probably walk right into Barry Lundy's offense and really pick it up very quickly because he played under it. I mean, obviously it's not the exact same as he had when he was at UTSA, but this hopefully could you erase that question mark that we have for Illinois football's offense, because I think you're going to have the running backs. I'm going to believe the offensive line is going to be way better than it was last year. They're going to stay healthy. You have Luke Altmaier now. It's going to be his second year playing in this offense, because think about this. Even though last year he was a sophomore, that was his first year starting. He did not start at Ole Miss. So now he's going to come into his second year, probably the starter. Watching him live, he actually is pretty quick. He has a good arm. And so now you have two guys that you could throw it up to and go make a play in Pat Bryant and Franklin. And Franklin has proven he can catch things. He's very fast. And again, that veteran presence with that wide receiver group is going to be huge. And his experiences that he can bring that knowledge and to new wide receivers coach as well. And so hopefully that he'll be able to fit right in. And how could he fit right in? Well, he's proven he can catch, has a lot of yards, has played in a lot of games. And Barry Lundy loves to do his play action and RPO stuff, which you have to in today's college football and in the Big Ten in order to compete. He's awesome with the RPO stuff. Again, he did all his whole career at UTSA. And so in order to do that, he can play outside. He can play the slot receiver. So I think that this is going to be really have a lot of weapons now on offense, right? That's kind of been our question, right? Defense last year was kind of the question mark for Illinois just because of the dominance they had the year before. But they have to adapt and play to what they have. But now you're going to get an experienced cornerback from Texas. I think the defense looks pretty fast. You're going to have different depths at different spots. The linebackers look better. You have a second-year play caller now in Aaron Henry, who's going to be more comfortable in that role. I think Illinois is flying under the radar. They're not ranking them pretty high. They're predicting to go like win 4 games or go like 5-7 and stuff like that. They have a tough schedule. All the new teams coming into the Big Ten, but I think that their offense now can take another step forward. If Luke Altmaier can come in and play to a higher level, and now you have these receiver weapons, it's almost like now more no excuses. Like Coach Brent Bielema and staff have done a good job trying to get this all done. And so I think that you have these two weapons now. If they can figure out how to get them the football and everything, you're going to have good weapons here on offense. So I wanted to end it on a good note there with Illinois football. I'm super excited to see what Illinois football is going to look like. Super excited for hopefully them to go on a run and throughout the summer. As we get into the season, we'll hopefully keep talking more and more about Illinois football. Super excited to see that. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow it right on Apple and iTunes. I don't know if it's up yet, but it's going to be eventually up. I'm working on it to become a member. I'm going to update a little bit. You'll get extra videos, first crack at the videos too when they come out. Different interviews with coaches coming this summer. And then hopefully maybe I can get it to where if we have topics, the link would be in there. You can hop on here and kind of give your thoughts on it. So for example, the Terrence Shannon stuff, you'd hop on a video and, have that conversation and talk and stuff like that. But you got to become a member to do that. And there's different level tiers. I'm going to go back and revisit that. So if you can, and you want to join the lowest level to support the show, that'd be greatly appreciated. And there'll be other stuff in the works right now that I'm trying to get done with YouTube and stuff. So, but to do that, you got to subscribe first. So please subscribe, check out all the other videos, check out all the affiliates in the description below. Appreciate anybody that does watch or listen afterwards. So thank you guys so much. This is Coach Steve. Go Illini, and we'll see you guys next time.